Slowly but surely, we're getting information about Mass Effect Andromeda, and now that we know that Ryder's family will be an important part of the plot, we can't help theorizing about a certain family member. Hi, this is Rima from MEOdyssey, and today I'll be looking at some of the possible theories about the missing member of the Ryder family, Ryder's mother. We know that our protagonist will be named Ryder, and that they will have a sibling who will be present in the game world, and that we'll also have an N7 character who is so heavily shown in the promotional material for Mass Effect Andromeda will be our father. But what happened to Ryder's mother? Well, as Mac Walters has stated, quote, everyone has a story. So what is the story behind Ryder's mum? Theory number 1, she's in the Andromeda Galaxy? So what evidence do we have that states that Ryder's mother might be possibly in the Andromeda Galaxy? Well, let's look at the most recent piece of relevant news. As we know, there will be a series of Mass Effect novels and comics released that will tie into the main storyline of Mass Effect Andromeda, as well as act as a bridge to the trilogy. In an interview at New York Comic Con with Mac Walters, Mac gave away some details about the comics that was quite interesting. For one, not only will the comics act as a bridge between Mass Effect Andromeda and the trilogy, but also feature a character from Mass Effect Andromeda. He stated that this character's motivations would be explored. Why did they go to the Andromeda Galaxy? As well as that this character might be a character you might encounter in Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, when we initially listened to this interview, our first thoughts were that the comics would be about the N7 character, Ryders Father, and why he would venture forth into Andromeda, but also it's possible that maybe it's about Ryder's mother as she heads forth to the Andromeda Galaxy. The series of novels also possibly reveal some interesting information. Of the 4 titles, 3 of the titles have somewhat been confirmed. These are Nexus Uprising, Lost Ark, and Andromeda Initiative. The titles themselves, in order, seem to suggest some kind of chronological order. From the first events of Nexus Uprising, which involves some kind of force or faction, to the Lost Ark, possibly one of the first arcs to depart the Milky Way, and finally Andromeda Initiative, the emergence of AI that seems to be the group that Ryder and their team is part of. But this will definitely be explored in depth in a video in the future. Hint, hint. In summary, what the novels and comics could indicate is a former prequel to Mass Effect Andromeda. This is just speculation, but imagine if Ryder's mother had headed out to the Andromeda Galaxy in a prior mission to the Andromeda Initiative, went missing in action, or is somewhere in Andromeda, or possibly even dead. Cast reminds back to N7 Day 2014 when we were given a slew of concept art showing us various locations and settings, but one was very interesting. The downshipped in a desert with black, red and orange and white colouring. With similar colourings to the Tempest, it seems like this could be from the same fleet, but it does seem to have an older design. Could this be a prior scout to the Andromeda Galaxy that crashed? Could Ryder's mother be part of the crew? Now let's go forward a year to N7 Day 2015, when we got the N7 Day 2015 teaser trailer. That trailer gave us so much information, from Ryder's name to the family photo to revealing the arc. And speaking of Ryder's name, there were those dog tags. When we first watched the trailer, we assumed the tags belonged to a dead relative, most likely their parent or a sibling. But we now know that Ryder's brother or sister do exist in the game world, and seems like their father might too. So could these tags belong to their mother? We also got a much better look at the N7 character in the EA Plays trailer from this year. One of the aspects of this closer look that got our head scratching is one of the particular markings on the N7 character's helmet, the marking stating TX4877. When researching this number, you don't get very much information. However, this number is associated with Staff Sergeant Ian William Rennie, a soldier of Sparrow Force and the Heavy Battery Unit of the Royal Australian Artillery. Staff Sergeant Rennie was taken as a POW, or a prisoner of war, by the Japanese during World War II. Though this is a very small detail, will this indicate a role that either Ryder's mother or father took prior to the events of Mass Effect Andromeda? Thanks to Tyrannus1138 for bringing this detail to our attention a while back, and we just never had the time to include it in a video. Whether this is actually any kind of clue to any of the story, we don't know because it's such a small tidbit, but we thought we might as well share it with you guys. Along with all the evidence we've discussed earlier, it's possible that the fate of Ryder's mother could be the thing that provides motivation to the other members of the family, especially Ryder's father, who seems to be on a quest for something. Could it be for his wife or revenge for her death? Now, this has nothing to do with any evidence, this is just speculation on our part. Another concept that is likely is that Ryder's mother could be back on Earth or in the Milky Way, unlikely to be attached to the ARCs or the Andromeda Initiative and the story of Mass Effect Andromeda, or is even possibly non-existent in the storyline, but as we already know, everyone has a story. With a story seemingly so involved around the Ryder family, it seems that Ryder's mother may also play a role in the story. Though we don't have too much evidence, we know that Ryder's mother may have some form of backstory, and that we also know that Ryder's family might be integral to the story of Mass Effect Andromeda. Maybe Ryder's mother was one of the first to reach Andromeda, maybe she never left Earth, or maybe her fate is the catalyst that triggers the adventures of her family. Regardless, it's very interesting to see what kind of role she'll take on in Mass Effect Andromeda. So let's know what you think of this very, very short theory in the comments below, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and please share this video to help it grow. Thank you for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you next time.